many people have an agenda? And I keep telling people in the financial world, a lot of what you're seeing right now, you think is authentic. There's a motivation that people aren't considering. The November 5th, 2024 election's coming up.
Yeah.
So they go, oh, the Democrats are saying this, or oh, the Republicans are saying that, or oh, somebody in the financial world is saying this, and they don't realize that there's a long-term play there. It might seem authentic, but you have to look behind the agenda. And I think what throws people off so much is even with people who come off authentic, they look for the agenda even when there isn't one.
Yeah.
Like a classic example, I used to do the same thing. I would judge like Alex Hormozy online.
Yeah.
I'd be, oh, this guy is just trying to sell you something. And I would look for the agenda, and I realize, oh my God, like I'm being a terrible human being.
Yeah.
I'm doing all the things that I think people are critical of me of doing now that I'm on this side of the table.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, it's that easy to judge somebody because you have to like search for that agenda. Even people who are originally authentic.
Yeah.
People buy in over time.
Yeah. I have a rule now because I've learned my lesson so many times of being wrong. That if somebody asks me about somebody, for example, Alex Hormozy is an example. We have a lot of acquaintances. We've missed each other multiple times, linking up. I know there's lots of people that love him. I know there's a portion of people that don't like him. And when somebody asks me about someone like that now, I reserve my opinion until I sit in a room with you because more often than not, this personality who I think I hate or I don't like or is this person that I'm not going to get along with, I actually end up liking or loving a lot of time. Or this person who I think is so awesome and so amazing, and then I get them in person, I'm like, oh, they suck. So like now I've really trained myself when asked about another influencer, famous person, whatever you want to call them, what do I think? I don't know. If I haven't had him in my studio or we haven't met or had lunch or actually talked in person, I reserve judgment because it's such a mixed bag of what you're going to get in this social media world because more often than not, I'm wrong about what I think I'm going to see or get when I get someone in person. And some of the most amazing people online that I admired, when I get them in front of me in person, I find out that it was just this facade or this spiel that they've rehearsed, and they're so good at it. They've rehearsed it so many times that it just, it sounds so good. And I like them so much. And then you meet them, they're like, oh, it's an actor.
It's a routine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of that.
Let me ask you a random question.
Okay.
Bear with me. You guys have been doing Mind Pump now for almost 10 years.
January, 10 years.
Does it feel like 10 years?
It doesn't. It flew by really, really fast.
It's amazing how fast 10 years moves, right?
That's so the fastest ever for me because it is now officially the thing that I've done longer than anything else. That's what's weird for me to say is that it still feels like so much of it's in infancy for me still. There's so much more to accomplish and do within the businesses. And so it doesn't feel like I've been doing it forever. I remember when I worked for 24 Hour Fitness for 8 years, that felt like a lifetime. This doesn't feel like that. It's like, here I am 10 years and I feel like, oh man, we're barely getting going on it. But it's now, I've done this longer than I've done anything else consistently before in my life.
Yeah. And that to me, I'm in the same place. I mean, we started the bank 17 years ago.
That's a long time.
Yeah, it's a long time. And I never thought it was going to last more than 3 to 5 years, frankly. I thought 3 to 5 years, you have an exit strategy, all these grand delusions in your head of what this is going to look like when the end comes, and the end never comes. Do you feel like you guys are influencers now in the traditional sense, or do you feel like you're just how do you? Look, you just did an event in Vegas. Lots of people came to see you guys.
Yeah, but I fucking hate that word.
Okay, but so then what do you see yourself as when you look in the mirror?
I don't
Besides sexy, obviously.
Yes,
I don't want to do the obvious thing.
Well, so first of all, like, I guess we have to define what is an influencer and like whoever fucking made that word up and like what is it that encompasses that. One of the things that I think about when I see an influencer is it's somebody who makes a living off of their ability to influence others to buy the shit that they're into. And I don't need that. So much so that I make it a point to not be active on social media on a regular basis. And I think that if you're an influencer, your life revolves around your daily activities and what you need. Like, you have to be engaging the audience on social media on a regular basis because you influence people to buy products and to buy things. And you need to do that in order for you to survive financially. And a lot of these influencers are really good at that. They're very likable. They've got great personalities, or maybe they drop knowledge on you and you follow their lives and they influence you to buy these things that they're into, and that's how they make a living. I don't see myself as that because I can turn my Instagram off and so can all my partners and the business still goes. So that's why I don't like influencer. Like, I don't want to be known as like somebody who's influencing people to buy something or do something. So I don't know what, I guess I've gotten more comfortable with being called a podcaster.
I think that undersells it though, because you guys are doing so much more, right? Wouldn't media at this point be more accurate? I mean, you guys.
Well, so if someone like like the driver today, right?
Yeah.
Eventually, they always ask, like, "What do you do?" I tell you, people are wondering what the fuck do you do, guy? I tell people that I own a fitness media company. That's how I would answer somebody, and it's taken me a long time to figure that out. Like, I didn't know what to say forever, because when it was tiny and nobody was paying attention, it sounds really grand to say we have a media company
but it's not tiny anymore.
Well, no,
and a lot of people are paying attention.
I think that's why I feel comfortable with saying that now, that I can back it up with all the things that are built around this, like a media company would have. It's got an advertising arm, it's got an employee and staffing and 401k and benefits, and it's got all this investing. It's got a lot, right? So now I feel comfortable with that. Early on, I used to say podcaster, and nobody knew what the fuck a podcaster was. So I probably, the thing I felt most comfortable with saying was that I'm a fitness trainer. I've been a fitness trainer by trade for a very long time, and I've utilized the social media world to convey our message or share our journey, our personal journey, and our journeys that we share with our clients. But I just don't like the influencer term or name. And I also would rather, like, I care even more about being known for my business acumen than I care about even being known as a great trainer. I was a pretty good trainer. What I take the most pride in within the four of us that have ran this business is that. So I would think, if, like, back to your in the mirror, and I'm looking at myself like, you're a businessman. Like, that's what I probably say. I'd like to think that I'm a businessman, right? Like, I like business. I like talking business. I'm interested in all the business of what we do, even more so than I'm interested in the clients and training and all that stuff, which is what I originally got into. And what, like, I'd say Sal is more into, like, the science and the training aspect. Justin also the training aspect of what we do. I appreciate the business side of what we do probably the most.